Hello everyone, I'm Meteorologist Charlie Ironmonger. Thank you so much for joining me today for your 11 a.m. news and weather update from the First Alert Desk. Now we've got news out of Greenville where City Council members swore in new city leadership last night. Now serving District 1 is Arena Jones, who replaces former councilwoman Monica Daniels. She shared a message to residents about her mission saying, quote, "I feel grateful, humbled, energized, ready to work. Public safety, being accessible for all things from homelessness to food insecurity to resources that someone may need in the community, not only just District 1, but all of Greenville," end quote. Now serving District 3, replacing Councilwoman Marion Blackburn, is Seth Hardy, a 21-year-old ECU student and Greenville native who also shared some of his goals for the seat, saying, quote, "It's an amazing feeling. I did the math today. It's been 151 days since I officially filed the Pitt County Board of Elections. So 151 days of blood, sweat, and tears from myself and my team to make this possible. The roads in and around the grid and the university are a big issue that students and permanent residents have communicated to me, as well as pedestrian safety on 10th Street," end quote. Now Hardy says as the youngest member on the board, he plans to represent everyone, saying, quote, "There was a lot of concerns throughout my campaign about my age and if I was only going to be a voice for the student population here in District 3. So I wanted to let those residents know that I will be a voice for them as well, and I will be glad to work with them and resolve any issues they have as well," end quote. Now, during the ceremony, the board motioned to nominate Councilwoman Tanya Foreman to be the board's mayor pro tem. The next Greenville City Council meeting will take place on Thursday, December 11th. And now we want to turn to the ongoing war in Ukraine, where President Volodymyr Zelensky is resisting U.S. pressure to accept a compromise and to give up territory as President Trump pushes towards a peace deal. NBC's Molly Hunter has more.
As President Trump ramps up pressure on Ukraine to sign a deal with Russia to end the war in Ukraine, Ukrainian President Zelensky is on a little bit of a European swing. Yesterday, he was here in London. He met with the Prime Minister. He met with leaders of France and Germany as well at the Prime Minister's residence. They, of course, expressed support. They are members of what is called the Coalition of the Willing, European allies who support Ukraine. Zelensky then answered journalist questions over WhatsApp. He kind of gave an update on the state of play of these negotiations. He talked about, of course, the Geneva negotiations, and then in Miami, where American and Ukrainian officials really hashed out some of the finer details. Real focus on security guarantees and territory. Zelensky said very clearly that there had been no compromise, no agreement on territory. But what he did say is that the U.S. wants a deal. They want a compromise. They want Ukraine to end this war, to agree to this proposal that is on the table. The Ukrainians say they're sending the U.S. an updated position by the end of today. Earlier today, he met with Pope Leo at Castel Gandolfo. They spoke broadly about ending the war, but they also spoke specifically about an issue that we know Pope Leo cares about, that we know is one of the most sensitive issues for President Zelensky, and that is the deportation, the kidnapping, the unlawful transfer of Ukrainian kids to Russia. And President Zelensky would very much like to see the Vatican take a bigger, a stronger mediation role between Ukraine and Russia, specifically on this issue. Molly Hunter, NBC News, London.
Thank you so much, Molly, for that report. We now want to turn to your weather forecast. It's certainly still cold outside, but we've got more sunshine than what we saw yesterday. Here's what we've got outside at the Pitt Greenville Airport, 34 degrees. Feels like 26. So if you're heading outside, make sure you've got a jacket and ready to stay warm because that breeze will come with a bite. Northerly wind right now at Pitt Greenville Airport coming in at 9 miles an hour. Let's take a look at what we're seeing cloud cover wise across the east. Still have a little bit of cloud cover along the outer banks, and then we're also tracking some clouds back towards the South Carolina line and then back on the western side of I-95. Most of eastern North Carolina, though, enjoying again mostly sunny weather early on today. As we head into the afternoon, we will likely see a little bit more cloud cover try to show up. All those clouds off to the west will slowly try and march their way east of 95, moving into eastern North Carolina later on this evening. We will see again those clouds just continue to roll overhead, though, passing by overnight tonight into your Wednesday morning, and that will allow air temperatures to again drop down at or slightly below freezing as we wake up early tomorrow morning. Some areas back towards I-95 could actually end up in the upper 20s. Tomorrow going to be very similar to what we're going to see today, at least in terms of sky conditions. The big change that we will see is in your air temperatures. We will be warming up from today into tomorrow. Today, likely looking at the low 40s for your highs. Here we are at 11 a.m. and we've got most of eastern North Carolina in the mid 30s. We do still have some areas in the low 30s. We've got 30 degrees in Roanoke Rapids and Hosky, 32 in Rocky Mount, 33 in Williamston. But as you get closer to the water, you are seeing a little bit more warmth, upper 30s to even mid 40s right now being reported along the coast. 38 in Swan Quarter, 38 in Oriental, 41 in Beaufort, 42 in Manteo, 45 in Hatteras. Stumpy Point right now showing off at 46 degrees. Now winds out of the north again coming in at a more reasonable, give it around 6 to 12 mile per hour range. A little bit of a stronger breeze right now in Manteo, but winds today lighter than what we had yesterday. Of course, that's not really going to be the main concern. Later on tonight, as those winds calm down and skies eventually clear out, air temperatures will be dropping. The clearer your skies are and the calmer your winds are this time of year, usually the colder it gets overnight, and we are going to be clear and calm enough to push those overnight lows back down into the upper 20s. 29 degrees by 7 a.m. turns to 32 by 8. 39, though, by 10 a.m. will push air temperatures up even faster tomorrow than what we're going to see today. And tomorrow, anticipate low 50s returning to the forecast. Again, today we're going to be in the low 40s, so we're going to end up about 10 degrees warmer tomorrow afternoon than where we're going to find ourselves today. If you're not happy with the chill, do apologize. We've got a few months of it heading our direction, and even next week we've got another round of cold weather that's going to be sticking with us. Could in fact give us another opportunity for perhaps maybe another rain/snow system. We'll see how it comes together, but with air temperatures again staying cool as we head through Monday and Tuesday of next week, it will set the stage for another possibility for some wintry weather. That's all we have time for today's 11 a.m. news and weather update from the First Alert Desk. I want to thank you all so much for joining me. We'll be back with more news and weather at the top of the hour. Until then, have a fantastic rest of your Tuesday. We'll see you in just a bit.